I glanced at my phone just as I was about to lock the office. The message from Laura blinked on the screen. Going to bed early tonight. That was it. No explanation. No good night. Just those 6 words that carried a casual finality. Most people might have shrugged it off. Most people might have assumed she just wanted rest. But after years together, I had learned to read between the lines. My name is Ethan. I'm a project manager, the kind of job that teaches you patience, attention to detail, and the value of silent observation. I thought those skills applied to life at home too. I thought I could read Laura, anticipate her moods, notice when she was genuinely tired or when she was pushing me away without saying it outright. That night, something in the way she typed the message made my instincts tighten. There was a subtle confidence in the punctuation, an almost imperceptible calm that said she wasn't just going to bed early. Something else was happening. I waited a few minutes before reacting, as I always did. Calm observation before action. The living room was quiet when I arrived home. The lights were dim. The house smelled faintly of lavender from her diffuser. I checked the hallway. Nothing unusual. Everything seemed normal. And yet, a small voice in my mind insisted I check the camera I had recently installed for security purposes. Not because I didn't trust her, but because I trusted the evidence more than any explanation I might get. I tapped the app on my phone, scrolling through the live feed. My heart didn't race. I didn't panic. I simply watched. At first, the room seemed empty. Then the faint click of the door, a shadow crossing the bedroom floor. And then I saw him. A man I had never met, stepping lightly, as if he knew exactly how long he had before being discovered. Laura didn't see me watching. Didn't hear the soft tap of my phone unlocking the camera. And just like that, everything that had been brewing silently in the last few months, late nights, hushed phone calls, unexplained absences, made sense. I didn't confront her immediately. I didn't yell. I didn't slam doors or throw accusations into the air. I simply observed, taking note of every detail, every movement, every small action that revealed more than 1,000 words ever could. In my experience, when someone shows you their true colors without realizing it, arguing only muddies the clarity you have. Waiting, watching, that's when the truth becomes undeniable. I continued to watch the footage frame by frame, as if each second might reveal something new. The man, tall, confident, clearly familiar with the space, moved through the bedroom like he belonged there. Laura didn't notice the camera, and in that moment she was unguarded, relaxed, even laughing quietly. That laugh, the same one she used to reserve for me, now shared with someone else, struck a hollow chord inside me. Not rage, not heartbreak, just clarity. I understood who she really prioritized, even if she hadn't said it aloud. I remembered the nights when she insisted she was too tired for intimacy, too busy for conversation, too distracted for connection. I had tried calmly to bridge the gaps, offered my presence without pressure, listened without judgment. Yet every time the emotional distance grew. It wasn't about stress or work or fatigue. It was about choices. And choices always have consequences. The next morning, she texted me casually as if nothing had happened. Morning. Slept well. I didn't respond. I didn't need to. Instead, I went about my day, observing and reflecting. My friends noticed a subtle change. I seemed lighter, more present, less reactive. The small victories of daily life, morning coffee, gym sessions, quiet walks, took on a sharper clarity. I had stopped investing energy where it wasn't returned. Silence became my ally, patience my strength. By evening, she realized my shift. Messages became more frequent, more insistent. Why aren't you answering? Are you mad? I need to talk to you. I read each one without replying. Calm. Detached. I didn't block her. I didn't threaten her. I simply allowed her to face the reality she had created. Every unanswered message was a mirror reflecting her choices back to her. Then came the subtle signs of panic. She would step out of the house more, check her phone nervously, glance around corners as if someone was watching her. That was all she needed. A moment to understand that I had reclaimed my control, that I was no longer participating in the pattern of neglect and distraction she had established. Watching her adjust to the consequences of her own actions, quietly, without drama, became more powerful than any confrontation I could have staged. A week passed and my routine solidified. I returned home on my own terms, spent my evenings on projects and books I'd neglected, and slowly reintroduced myself to friends who had quietly faded into the background. The apartment, once heavy with tension and uncertainty, now felt calm, an oasis rather than a battlefield. Laura's presence no longer dictated my schedule, my thoughts, or my peace of mind. The space I had reclaimed became a statement in itself. One evening she came home early. The air felt different. I was in the kitchen making a simple dinner, completely at ease. She hesitated at the doorway, eyes scanning the room, searching for signs of agitation, confrontation, or anger. There was none. Only a man who had quietly chosen himself over the chaos she had invited. The smirk she once wore so confidently had disappeared, replaced by uncertainty. "Ethan, we need to talk," she said softly. I didn't move. I didn't react. I simply nodded, letting the silence speak for me. That silence, more than words, conveyed the truth she had ignored for months. I had moved on internally, even if I was physically present. She tried to explain, to justify, to plead. But I wasn't listening for excuses. I was observing patterns. "I'm not upset," I said calmly. "I'm clear. You made your choices. I made mine." There was no room for argument, no space for guilt-tripping. She had unknowingly revealed the depth of her priorities, and my reaction was simple: detachment. That detachment spoke louder than confrontation ever could. Over the next several days, her messages shifted from casual inquiry to urgent pleading. She tried to regain control, to draw me back into the dynamic where her whims dictated my actions. I did not respond. I maintained my calm, my distance, and my focus on myself. Slowly, she realized that no amount of messages or manipulations could undo the clarity I had gained. The power dynamic had shifted. The realization dawned on her. I was no longer a participant in the imbalance she had created. By the end of the month, I had fully moved on. I reconnected with old friends, pursued projects I had postponed, and reclaimed the energy I had unknowingly surrendered to her manipulations. Laura reached out one last time, her tone pleading, almost vulnerable. But I didn't reply. I didn't need to. Watching her come to terms with the consequences of her actions, silently, without any drama from me, was more effective than any argument or confrontation. And for the first time in months, I felt free, truly undeniably free.